Great. Thank you very much, everybody. It's great to see you all. Thank you very much for having me today. We're very happy to be working with TCG on this event, and also to be one of their TCG Sustainable Travel Heroes as their hotel partner for the second year running. So today, the first slide on my presentation kind of is my hope of what I achieved today with this presentation. I hope to inspire responsible tourism with you guys. And that really is the ethos of the wave of change movement that we have going on, which I'm sure most of you guys have heard about before because we've been working on it and talking about it for many, many years. Now, I always like to start off by talking about the owners of Iberostar because they really are the ones, it's their passion, they're the ones behind the whole wave of change movement that we have going on. You can see Don Miguel and his two daughters, Sabina and Gloria, and it's still a 100% privately owned company. Considering the extent of Iberostar, that's great to say. But as I say, it's their passion for the environment that led to the launch of our wave of change movement. And actually, Sabine, Gloria, who's in the black, you can see there, she's an environmentalist. And she actually came to her father and sister and explained many, many years ago that we have to do something and quickly. Not from just the point that she's an environmentalist and she cares about the environment so much, and that's really where her background is and where the family's background is, but also because, really, from a business case perspective, over 80% of our hotels are located on these coastal communities. So we need to care about the oceans to ensure that they're there for generations to come. So it's their passion that led to the launch of our fantastic wave of change movement. Officially, towards the end of 2017, 2018, we launched, but actually the work was ongoing long before that. Now, today, what I will do, I've included with this presentation some information. There's a lot of numbers because I took all the information from our Wave of Change 2022 end of year report, because sometimes we talk about the actions we're doing and what's going on, but I wanted to tell you about what we've done and the achievements that we've had so far and what we plan for the future, and making it really meaty. Because I want to not just inspire you guys today, but also give you confidence in working with Iberostar when you're focusing on responsible travel, sustainability, because I think that's a big thing. It can be quite a big subject, really, and you guys are working with so many suppliers and we're all doing different sustainability actions. So I just want to instill confidence in what Iberostar are doing as a whole, as the entire portfolio, what we're doing across the board, so that you feel confident talking about that with your clients, because within this industry we need to work together for sustainability. And yeah, and that's with us suppliers, but also with you guys as our travel agent partners in spreading the word about that. So Gloria Fluchard, again, just to instill a bit of confidence in you, she's highly regarded in the environmental world. She attended COP26, also COP27. She's been invited on the panels there. You can see her in the top left-hand corner, which was amazing. But actually at COP27 was when we announced our new 2030 agenda. So this really encompasses everything about the wave of change movement and what we have done, what we plan for the future. So you can see here, one of the pillars is moving towards a circular economy. So we already became free of single-use plastics by 2020, which was a huge achievement across the entire portfolio. Not an easy job, but as I say, the work started many years ago. That was the first thing that we did, and it was our love for the oceans that started the wave of change movement. So one of the first points was, how can we decrease the amount of plastic that we find in the oceans, unfortunately. So that was a good place to start. We've also pledged that we will be waste free by 25 and carbon neutral by 2030. So yeah, quite big statements, but we're well on our way there. Also, responsible consumption of seafood. Now, this is quite an important point, because when we're looking at our agenda, our 2030 agenda, we're not just looking at what we're doing. That's what we call our scope 1 and 2 levels and achievements, if you like, and that's what we monitor within the agenda. But we're also looking at scope 3, and that's our supplier level. So who provides the food to us? Who provides our fish to us, for example? That's where it becomes quite difficult. And I'll be completely honest with you, in some destinations, that's where we have had difficulties, because some destinations just haven't been as advanced as others when it comes to the other suppliers. it's a bit easier to kind of control what we're doing in our hotels, but we need it down to that level, ensuring that our suppliers that we work with in these destinations, in these communities, are sustainable as well. So we've pledged to be 100% responsibly sourcing our seafood by 25, and improving our coastal health. So we've actually said that we don't just want to maintain ecological health in the coastal communities where we are. We want to actually be improving it by 2030 as well. So there's lots of work that goes into that. I'll try and get through as much as I can today. So as I mentioned, completely single-use plastic free by 2020. Amazing. We now have our 3R teams in this. Remember, all these figures are from our 2022 official wave of change end of year results, if you like. So these figures will actually be higher now because we're halfway through 23. So that's great. But I wanted to give you concrete info. So by the end of 22, over 80% of our hotels had our 3Rs teams. So there are reduce, reuse, and recycle teams in our hotels. They actually sift through all of the waste that is produced in our properties, from the bedrooms, all from the client, throughout all the areas of the properties, and they make sure they go in the right compartments. They weigh all the waste as well, because obviously we've pledged to be sending 0% waste to landfill by 2025. So they're the ones behind a lot of that, and they're doing an amazing job. We've also have our compost heap. So here it says 100,000 kilograms of compost in Mexico. However, again, we have extended our compost heaps as well. So that really is helping with this waste project and this waste objective as well. Now, Winnow, so it was on the slide just before, but I wanted to show you this picture actually. Winnow is fantastic. This is actually a company that we work with, and we've been working with them for 3 years or so now. We were their pilot hotel chain, because prior to that, they'd only worked with kind of small independent restaurants. But they started working with us on a large scale, and it's actually these computers that are attached to all the bins in the kitchens of our hotels. So everything is monitored. Everything that our colleagues throw away after breakfast, lunch, and dinner sessions, everything is the computers screen and they recognize the image that's been thrown away. If it's paella, for example, or if it's steak, the computers recognize that. Everything's weighed because they've got scales attached to these computers. We've already input all of the information about the dishes and about the weight of the ingredients, what's included, etc. So everything's then computerized into a monthly report that the head chef gets. So it will say you've had this much waste throughout the month, and they have to do something about it, and they have to improve that and produce less waste from the restaurants in our properties. It's working amazingly, and what's great to see is other hotel chains are now working with Winnow, so it's becoming a really big part with it, really big project within the industry. And I'll just go back to the previous slide. You can see in that 2022 report, we avoided 533,000 meals to be wasted by using the Winnow system, and 213 tonnes of food, which is just amazing. And it was only in 20 hotels at that point within Iberostar. We're increasing that. We've already increased Winnow in more hotels this year so far, and that will just continue. So it really is it's an amazing system to see in play as well. I've actually seen it. So clever. All this artificial intelligence. So really important point. Now, this slide goes into a bit more information about the next steps and what we plan on doing. And a big project really that we have going on now is the electrification of our hotels. Now, this is going to take time. It's a big investment, and it's not going to be done in 1 year. It will be a continuous job that we have going on. But just to give you an idea, we've got some fully electrified hotels in Montenegro. Now, we also have, over the winter, we electrified the Iberostar Christina Hotel. What that means is changing all of the gas appliances in the kitchens, for example, the air conditioning units, all of that. So it's quite a bit, it's a big, huge job. The hotel was closed for a few weeks. But we also are 100% using renewable energy in all of our hotels in Spain already. So that's why we can say the Iberostar Christina is our first zero emission hotel, which is just amazing. This hotel's got it all going on with sustainability, so it's a great kind of pilot hotel to use. But yeah, really exciting, and that's going to be a long going project to help towards our 2030 100% carbon neutral pledge. So yes, as I mentioned, already using 100% renewable energy in Spain, and that's work that will continue throughout the portfolio. So I'm just aware of time here. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here because again, it's quite kind of percentages and numbers. But I just wanted to show you this is our plan and these are our goals and how we hope to achieve carbon neutrality. Let's look at our seafood consumption. So this is where we've pledged to be 100% sourcing our seafood. We've already achieved that in Mexico, and as I mentioned, that's all about who the fishermen that we work with, and we pledge to work with more local and community-based companies, especially with like the local small-scale fisheries, which is fabulous. That's part of our kind of pledge here and our honest food policy to bring fresh local food as much as possible in our restaurants. We also have 12 restaurants with the MSC ASC chain of custody certification. I believe up to the point of getting our first MSC certification, it wasn't easy for hotel restaurants. This was more kind of independent restaurants that were achieving this. So it's great that 12 restaurants in our hotels now have that stamp of approval. And just to give you an example of what this means, for example, the lobster ban. We were the first hotel chain to observe the lobster ban in Dominican Republic back in 2019. And that means we're not serving lobster, no matter if the clients want it or not. And the great thing was we explained why to the clients at the time, because five-star clients expect lobster to be served in their restaurants when they want it. We explained why. No, this is the reason why. It's during the reproduction season of the lobsters in the oceans, and we sourced an alternative. And the clients, the feedback was great. They actually liked it. They approved of the project, and it's great to see that more hotel chains are doing it now as well, because we need to all be doing this to make a difference. And this year it actually finished on the 30th of June, I believe. We observed the lobster ban in Mexico, Jamaica and Dominican Republic, so that's another great achievement there. Let's go on to our coastal health. So this is really great. This is, as I say, it was where it all started, our love for the oceans. So we've got many different actions going on towards our goal to ensure that we're actually improving ecological health of all the coastal communities where we are in the world. So we've actually got some coral nurseries in the waters. They're in Dominican Republic, Cuba, Jamaica, I mentioned Mexico at the moment. So we've got 5 coral nurseries that are actually in the waters. And actually you can see, I believe that's Gloria that's in the water there, diving with the coral nurseries. We also have our mangroves. So this is a plant that we're replanting into the Caribbean communities. It's actually the natural forestry that would grow, but it was all stripped back to make way for hotels and houses, etc. So we're actually replanting them. And the reason why, they store up to 10 times more carbon than normal forestry. So it's kind of common sense. It's going to help with our offsetting, which we need to reach carbon neutrality. And yes, so we've planted thousands and thousands of mangroves in our Caribbean resorts. And this is our fantastic coral lab that we actually opened in 2019 in our Bavaro resort in Dominican Republic. Now, this coral lab, they're scientists that work there. They are not hoteliers. They're real scientists. They know what they're doing. And it's all the work is about the restoration and protection of the corals in the Caribbean waters, because they are in trouble. They're dying out. They're losing their colour. It's a disease that's spreading through the waters there. Now, the work that they've been doing over the last few years is actually, it's recognised in the scientific world. All the papers, the research they're doing, it's scientifically recognised. So that's an amazing achievement. So they're doing great work there, and that's continuing. And another thing that I want to point out, really useful for you guys, is the client interaction. Your clients are going to see these actions in our hotels all around the world, and especially in the Bavaro Resort. The clients can go and visit the scientific lab. They can, at the coral lab, they can actually talk to the scientists and see all the work going on. And we take the kids from Star Camp there on Ocean Day, which we have every week in our Star Camps all around the world. In Europe, they might go and clean up the beaches or do a game, the small ones in the pool, cleaning up the oceans. But in Caribbean, they can actually go and visit our coral lab, which is just amazing. Now, our climate change, we actually have in Mallorca, we've also got lots of coastal health initiatives going on. We actually opened our first climate change observatory in Mallorca. That's on the rooftop of the Iberostar Alcudia Park. And basically it's monitoring the erosion of the beaches there. It's constantly taking pictures. So if there's a storm occurrence or something, happening, we can actually see the change by these constant camera images pictures that the cameras are taking. We also work with the Posidonia oceanica, and Posidonia is what you find in the what you find in the oceans in the Med and European waters, which keep all the turquoise waters, for example, in Mallorca, really clear. And it's all about the protection of them, and we're helping and supporting with that. And we work with the Catedral del Mar. So this is all about scholarships and all the studies as well. We get involved in lots of that as well. I'm just concerned about my timing, so I'm going to skip that. That's just about our business case studies that you can look at. But one big thing that we always talk about, especially with the whole TTG Heroes campaign, is about certification. That's a really important thing. You can see who we're partnering with, who we're working with, like speakers and lectures that we've contributed to, but also our certification. That's a big one. EarthCheck is one of the most rigorous sustainability certification you can achieve. And so we actually have it in over 50% of our properties now, not across the entire portfolio. I'm going to be completely honest, and that's one thing I learned dealing with our sustainability team. You have to be honest, you have to be authentic, and you have to be real when you're talking about the work you've done. And that's really important for you guys, I think, as well. So we haven't got EarthCheck in every hotel yet, because as I mentioned, in some destinations, they're not there yet. We're getting there. We're working towards, we're helping, we're working with the local communities, and we're getting towards achieving that. But that's something to look at to kind of, again, give you guys confidence in that. And one last thing, talking about all the toolkits that we have for you agents. A big thing is the media bundles. You can actually download it from the TTG Sustainable Heroes hub. And that's where we put some videos together and also some guide text, which you can literally copy and paste to promote sustainable travel on your social media, to your client databases. It's all on there to download, and we've made it as easy as possible, because it is a minefield. I feel for you guys when you're working with hundreds of suppliers. It's like, where do you start? So we try and make it as quick, as easy as possible. And if hopefully I've given you all the answers today for our questions, but we do have one place to give away on our Sustainable Travel Heroes fam trip that's taking place on the 2nd of October until the 5th. Heading to our new Albufeiras resort in Mallorca, which is stunning. Lots of sustainability actions going on in the resort as well, which the agents will see. And we're giving away one place for you guys to join us, and it's in conjunction with Jet2 Holidays. So you're going to see and hear all about their net zero campaign as well.
Oh, amazing. Thanks, Ash. Whistle stop tour at the end there. Brilliant. We are going to take a break now. So I'm going to ask you all to come back at 11:25, please. Go and have a nice little break. And just a reminder, we are going to be having the Explore session at the end at 12:55, so that lovely Hannah from Explore still gets to meet you all after those tech issues that we had. So break now, back for 11:25, please, if you can. And Explore will now be at 12:55. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ash.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Good to see you. Bye.